They called her just a civilian. Then a Navy SEAL saw her stance and asked, "What unit were you?" The shooting range on the outskirts of Norfolk wasn't anything special. Concrete bays, the faint scent of burnt powder, and rows of paper targets swaying gently in the late summer breeze. On weekdays, it was mostly retirees and hobbyists, men in cargo shorts, women in baseball caps, the occasional off-duty cop trying out new sights. Today was no different, at least until she walked in. At first, no one paid her much attention. Plain jeans, a loose hoodie, a baseball cap pulled low. Anonymity seemed more like a habit than an accident. No patches, no tactical gear bag, just a cheap duffel, casually slung over her shoulder. She didn't stride in. She moved as if she'd been here 100 times. She signed the waiver quickly, without hesitation, her handwriting neat enough to look deliberate. At the far end of the base, 3 men were talking loud enough for everyone to hear. One of them, tall, broad-shouldered, maybe ex-military, was telling some story about his special training. The other 2 nodded along in exaggerated awe. They barely glanced at the newcomer. Just another civilian, probably here to rent a pistol and waste some ammo. No one paid attention when she unzipped her bag, when she pulled out a hard plastic case and set it on the bench. A couple of people glanced over idle curiosity. But when she opened it, the air seemed to shift. Inside was a pistol, not flashy, not custom-painted, but worn in the way only a serious tool gets worn. The edges of the slide were smooth from countless draws, the stippling on the grip just starting to fade in the places where hands naturally press under stress. She checked the chamber. The movement was fast, smooth, no wasted motion, no showy flourish. Like a pianist running scales before a performance. 2 lanes over, Mark the loud one noticed first. It wasn't the gun. It was the way she stepped to the firing line. Most people stand like they're waiting for a bus. She didn't. Her body angled, weight subtly forward, knees soft, shoulders loose but ready. The kind of posture you take when you know recoil is coming, and recoil isn't your only concern. Mark nudged his friend. "Check out her stance." The friend smirked. Probably saw it on YouTube. The first string. She didn't rush. Magazine in. Racked the slide. Safety off. The first shot cracked. Brass spun in the sunlight before clinking to the concrete. A heartbeat later, the second shot. Then third, fourth, fifth, all with measured rhythm, like an internal metronome was guiding her. At 25 yards, the center mass of her target was one ragged hole. She didn't react. No smile, no glance at her work. Just swapped magazines and repeated the process. Mark kept glancing at her, like he was trying to file her away under some category that didn't quite exist. Between strings, she reloaded without looking at her hands. Spent mags landed in the same spot on the bench every time. Fresh mags lined up in the same direction, like muscle memory demanded order. In the next lane, a man swept his muzzle sideways while clearing a jam. She caught it in her peripheral vision. Without turning her head, she stepped back out of the line into cover. That wasn't the movement of a weekend shooter. That was someone who knew exactly what a mistake could cost. At the far corner, in lane 12, an older man was working slow strings with an AR. Broad shoulders, silver at the temples, a battered navy cap with a gold trident pin. The name stenciled on his range back, Cole. Cole had seen every kind of shooter. He had no time for pretenders. At first, he didn't look at her. Then, the way she cleared her weapon between drills made him pause. He started watching her between his own shots, careful not to make it obvious. The way she scanned the area before reholstering. The subtle lean of someone who understood cover in 3 dimensions. That wasn't civilian muscle memory. Mark, still running on misplaced confidence, finally approached her. "You shoot pretty good," he said with a half smile, like it was a test. She nodded without looking. "Thanks." "Military." "Number." "Cop?" "Number." He chuckled like he'd caught her. "Self-taught then? YouTube maybe?" She just swapped magazines and returned to the line. Her silence wasn't dismissive, it was deliberate. Like, answering him would mean stepping into a space she had no reason to enter. On her next string, she changed things. This time, she moved while firing. Step fire, step fire. Every shot still landed exactly where it should, even mid-shift. The range officer started toward her. Movement drills weren't normally allowed, but Cole caught his eye and gave a small shake of the head. When she finished, she cleared her weapon, dropped the mag, locked the slide, and rested the barrel angled safely downrange. Cole set his rifle down, removed his ear protection, and walked toward her. She noticed him before he reached her lane. Not with a startled look, just a slight shift of the shoulders, the quiet acknowledgement of a presence worth noting. He stopped a yard away. "You're wasting that stance on paper," he said, voice low and even. Her eyes met his. Calm, steady. "Paper doesn't shoot back," she replied. That made him smile faintly. He tilted his head, studying her. "What unit were you?" It wasn't really a question. It was recognition, disguised as one. For the first time all day, something flickered in her expression. Not pride, not nostalgia. Something heavier. "I wasn't," she said after a pause. "Not officially." Recognition, without a name. Cole didn't press. He just nodded slowly, the way you nod to someone whose silence you respect more than their answer. "You carry yourself like someone who's been under fire," he said. She didn't reply, but her stillness was answer enough. Mark, standing nearby, frowned. "So, what you're saying she's special forces?" Cole turned to him. I'm saying she's the kind of person special forces notice." Mark didn't have a comeback and walked off. Before leaving, she fired one last set, this time at the 50-yard target. Slow, measured shots. Every single one in the head box. She packed her gear, the way she'd unpacked it, neat, methodical. Before she left, she looked once at Cole. He gave a small two-finger salute, not of rank or ritual, but of recognition. She returned it with a nod. Then she was gone, back into a world that would never know what she carried. Cole stayed at the line long after she'd gone, replaying her movements in his mind. Some people announce themselves with patches, medals, or stories loud enough for the room to hear. Others carry their history in the quiet weight of how they move, breathe, and prepare for what could go wrong. Real power doesn't make noise. It doesn't need applause.